Hey, good morning, everyone. Great to be with you this morning. Well, it's morning where I am at this point when I'm recording this video. It might not be morning where you are right now, or when you when you are watching this. So, hello. We've been going through the stages of a startup, from idea through the startup stage to the growth stage. We've talked about the expansion stage for a couple of times, and now we're going to talk a little bit about the maturity stage. And I need to erase a couple things here quick. It's interesting thinking about it, how the growth and expansion stage kind of go together, because as you're growing, you move into expansion, but you don't stop the growth stage when you move into expansion stage. Likewise, when you move from the rapid growth stage, you always want to be growing, but you'll move from the rapid growth stage into a slower growth stage when you're more mature as an organization. And so those two continue to go along in concert. You never want to stop as an organization expanding, innovating. If you do, you're dead, right? If you stop moving forward, you're moving backwards because everyone else is moving forward. So there is, I can't think of a single industry where it's okay to just sit back and relax and rest on your laurels and wait for whatever, just to sit around and not do anything. So let's talk a little bit about the maturity stage. Some hurdles that you're going to run into there. They all have really a common theme, and that common theme is you as the founder. It's what I've called the founder problem. I've heard other people call it the founder problem as well. It's not I didn't coin the term. But it's a thing. It's a real thing. Founder, you love to build stuff. You love to be innovative. You love to get your hands in and get all the way up to your wrists and shoulders. I don't know, whatever. Get all the way into stuff and really get into it. And that's awesome. It's what got you through the idea, startup, and growth stages. But as we talked about before, when you moved into the expansion stage, you want to be doing that expansion because that's your passion. That's what you love doing. And as you move to this maturity and exit stage, you probably want to stay doing that. Stay in that expansion stage because that's where you get to work in your genius zone, right? If you're an entrepreneur, your genius zone is likely not administration, right? That's the stuff you hate doing and that you try and get rid of as soon as possible. Some of the systems that I help my clients set up early in the process help you get rid of some of those annoying, mundane things that you have to do day in and day out, right? So get rid of that, let somebody else do it, either through business processes or through technical systems that you actually automate it away and it's gone. Like I automated away my first job, all right? So when you're in this maturity and exit stage, your mindset has to shift. And you have to be okay with the fact that you're not rapidly growing anymore, but that maturity means you're at a steady growth pace. What that is for your industry will vary. It may be 3% a year, 5% a year. 10% is huge growth for a mature organization. So just be okay with this curve, right? You've gone along, this is your startup, and then you hockey sticked it and you went to, this is the growth stage. And what's going to happen is you're going to hit a maturity stage where you start going like this. And this is where you will go nuts because you want to see the hockey stick keep going, but that's okay. Relax. Put your passions into something else. Put your passions into your family. Put your passions into your hobby or into that expansion, into the next market. And maybe you want to think about an exit. I don't know. That's a question for you. Do you want to lead a mature business? Or like I said in the last video about the expansion stage, do you want to place a CEO in place who can handle the business on the day-to-day stuff and you can pull out and do other things? Maybe you want to completely pull out and just go onto the board of directors and just be a board member, board chair, something like that. Or maybe you want to completely pull out and just let the business run itself and go sit on a beach for about 3 weeks before you get bored and start your next startup, because that's what'll happen. So to do that exit, you need to meticulously plan your succession. So you need to find someone who has similar values as you. You need to have stated those values very clearly in your company's mission statement and your value statements. I'm actually going to do a whole series on some of these things that will help you establish a great culture within your organization, that you want to have this person who succeeds you map to that culture so that your organization carries on as you wanted it to. Other hurdles that you're going to run into is you may be too entrepreneurial for that mature business. So that's, again, where you have to ask yourself that question. Do I want to lead a mature organization? You may be holding on to things too tightly, even in the expansion stage, right? Even in the expansion stuff, holding on to stuff too tightly when you should be really letting go and letting some other people do their best work, because you hired really smart people. You should let them be really smart and do really smart things. So holding on too tight, and then, deciding whether you stay or whether you go. And one of the most important things, probably the most important thing, right after properly planning for your succession, which is actually part of the systems, is the systems you have in place. You need to have the people systems, and that's the succession planning that I was talking about. You need to have the business processes in place that will run your organization automatically when you're not there. And you need to have the technical systems in place that automate some of the things that used to be business process. So as I've always said, things flow from being people, you're doing it yourself to begin with manually, to, okay, now we've got an SOP, for lack of a better word, standard operating procedures for what we do and how we do it here. Those should not be written in stone. Please let people have input into improving them. They absolutely need to, because things change over time. So that's enough said about that. I'll get back to that one too. And then you move to technical automation, because if you just move from people to technical automation and skip the business process part of it, you will automate bad systems, because we do personally things that are unscalable. And if you do those things and you automate them, I think Bill Gates said, technology applied to an efficient system amplifies the efficiency, and technology applied to an inefficient system amplifies the inefficiency. Something to that effect, but don't do it. You have to have that middle stage where you build the business processes and you shake those down so that you have an efficient process that then you automate, all right? And then you want to think, okay, what areas do we want to expand in, and what systems do we need in order to grow that way? I have a friend that I'm going to ask and see if she will do a visit podcast or visit video on exits, specifically on sales. She is in the business of helping sellers and buyers buy and sell businesses. So I'm going to see if I can get her on here, and I think I can. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you today about this. The biggest hurdle is you and your mindset. Get out of the way of the business, move into the entrepreneurial part of it in the expansion work, or get completely out. Don't forget succession planning, and absolutely put the systems in. That's my passion in life, is to help you with those people, business, and technical systems that you need to have in place all the way through these stages in order to be effective and efficient. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. I think this is the last in the series of the 5 stages of business growth. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.